Do you feel different? Do you feel the effect of giving, so I saw some of you doing like that, not feeling really comfortable with hugging. There, I really learned to just hold the person and hug, and it was an amazing feeling. So you know that I read somewhere, or I heard somewhere many years ago that to sustain good health, you need at least 10 hugs a day. So something to keep in mind. Okay, we will start. By the way, this is my background. I didn't really talk about medication. I don't think it's really important. I think what's important is what I'm going to teach you today. So, what do you guys want when you get out of here? Do you want to sustain being healthy, fit, feeling good? Or you want to go back into your old habits? What do you like?
Stay healthy.
So,
Get healthier.
Get even healthier. So, why is it so difficult to sustain or to actually get into a healthy lifestyle? What has been your hurdles? What's been your difficulties? I know that a lot of people get into the lifestyle and then they quit. Do we have some here who've done that? Few? Couple? One or two? Or all of you? Okay, I guess so. Most of you at least. All right, so what do you find? What is your obstacle? Why is it so difficult to stay healthy? Come on.
Boring.
We are always boring. Okay, good. That's good. Good. Come on.
Stressful life, don't have time to...
You don't have time. Good.
Taste.
The taste, it doesn't taste good. Okay? More.
To break a habit.
Difficult to break a habit, yeah. Okay? More?
Sweet tooth.
You have a sweet tooth. Yeah? More?
Lack of motivation.
Lack of motivation. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How to get motivated. Okay, so that's my story. Well, when I was a teenager, my life was about two things. It was about being on a diet and taking a break from a diet. Just these two. And I was completely obsessed with my looks and getting thin and all that. So I wasn't extremely fat, but I had maybe a few kilos extra and I was really tall. So I felt very bulky. And I was teased in school, so I had all these battles, self-image problems and so on. So that was it. I was on a diet on Monday, and that meant no food or very little food. It meant that I would almost starve myself. Tuesday, yes, I was doing okay. I would maybe eat a little bit more. Wednesday, it started to be really hard. Thursday, I said, oh, damn it, I'll start next Monday. And so Thursday, Friday, sometimes I started binging on Thursday, sometimes I started binging on a Friday, and then for 2-3 days, or sometimes 4, I was just eating like there was no tomorrow. And then Monday, I started again. Do you recognize this? Some of you. Okay. And so they say that a definition of insanity is repeating the same behavior, expecting different results. And so I'm going to ask you here, do you think that I am insane? Get away. Or is it something that most of us do? We keep repeating the same thing, expecting different results. Right? Now, to understand this, we need to understand what drives behavior. What is the driving factor behind all behavior? And there are two things. Sorry. So, those of you who can't understand English, you know it. No, sorry, you can't understand Icelandic. So what drives human behavior? It's written in Icelandic, so emotions and your automatic pilot. Okay? So we'll come to what is an automatic pilot. So try this with your hands. Just go like that. Does that feel comfortable to you? I mean, yeah, for most people. Did you do this automatically? Did you have to put a lot of thought into wrapping your hands like that? No. You did it automatically, right? Now I'd like you to turn your hands around. So now you're going to do it the other way around. So left is going to go here, and then right is going to go there. Okay. I know you might need to put a little focus into this. So do you manage, or some of you don't? So did you wrap it the other way around now? Have you all tried that? How does that feel? Does it feel comfortable? No, it doesn't feel comfortable. So there's another part of your brain that's working here. And this part we call the conscious mind. So we have two parts of the brain. We have the subconscious, and then we have the conscious. Okay? Now, 90% of your thoughts, emotions, behavior is controlled by your subconscious mind, and just to make it simple for you, I call it the automatic behavior, automatic pilot, or in Icelandic, sjálfstýribúnaður heilans. Those of you who don't understand Icelandic, it sounds really strange. So can you give me an example of when do you use your automatic pilot? So we just get a feel of those two parts of the brain. So when are you using your automatic pilot, and when do you use your conscious mind? So come on, when do you use your automatic pilot? When you walk, excellent. What more?
Breathing.
When you breathe, yeah. Well,
Bicycle.
that happens kind of, yeah.
Bicycle.
Bicycle, yes, perfect. What else? When you're driving, yes. So it's basically anything that you do without thinking. So when you probably experienced driving from one spot to another, and then suddenly you're there and you didn't really think about how to get there. It just happened automatically, right? Because it was your subconscious mind, it was your automatic pilot was driving. Now there's much more that's part of your automatic pilot, but let's see, what about your, what about your conscious mind? Let's take that, just give me an example. What do you control with the conscious mind? Are you using your conscious mind right now? As you're listening to me? Yes. Whenever you're learning something, whenever you are paying attention to something, you're using your conscious mind. When you put your attention into unwrapping and wrapping the other way around, you were using your conscious mind. But you're also using your subconscious mind right now. Why? Because whether you think this is interesting information or not, it depends on what information you have in your subconscious mind. Whether you think it's useful or not, it depends on your subconscious mind. So your subconscious mind is always interfering. But we can say, to simplify things, anything you do with your subconscious mind is comfortable, it's easy, and you don't have to think about it. Just to simplify things. Anything you do with your conscious mind is difficult, or at least you need to put your attention, you need to focus on it, you need to focus on what you're doing. So anything you're learning for the first time, you do with your conscious mind. Is this clear? Is there any questions so far? No? Okay. We continue. So, it is interesting that even when some of you said it's difficult to let go of the sugar, that is like feeling that you enjoy eating sugar is part of the subconscious mind. Anything that you like or dislike is part of the subconscious mind. So if I hate exercising and I hate healthy food, it's because that's how I have programmed my subconscious mind. Now I have news for you. You can actually reprogram your subconscious mind. You can actually learn to love eating healthy food, and you can also learn to love exercising. This is starting to be more interesting now. Okay, good. So, what would happen if I would cross my arms the wrong way again and again and again and again and again and again and again? Like I would do it many days in a row, even weeks. What would happen? So if you would practice doing this again and again, what would happen? Are you always so quiet, or you just... Come on, talk to me. You become good at it, and it's going to become a new habit. Exactly. So if you do this over and over again, you're going to stop crossing your arms the old way, and now you're going to start crossing them the new way. So we have just created what? A new habit. So how long does it take to create a new habit? Do you know? How long does it take to create a new habit?
12 weeks.
21 to 30 days. So when you practice something again and again, without any breaks, for 21 to 30 days, it gets integrated. So basically, this is how it is. When I'm learning something, I'm creating, we call it neural pathways. So I start creating a neural pathway. I repeat, like driving, for example. I'm driving, I'm repeating for 21, 30 days, and then, well, it takes a little bit longer for driving, but anyway, it's an average. It might take longer, it might take shorter, okay? Then, suddenly, I don't need to use my conscious mind anymore. I'm just driving with my subconscious mind. So that's how it works. So whatever you practice first with your conscious mind, eventually becomes your subconscious mind. Now, what happens, for example, when your mother or your father told you that you were an idiot, or you're a loser, or you're bad at school, or you couldn't do math, or you're a bad artist? If you hear that message over and over again, what happens? It becomes a belief. It becomes part of your subconscious mind. So remember this. Anything that's repeated to you, anything you repeat to yourself, anything that you do over and over again becomes part of your subconscious mind. So, what do you say to yourself every day? Oh my God, I'm so beautiful. I love myself so much. Or do you say something more negative? Yeah? That gets integrated, that becomes your truth. It's very sad how we have learned to reprogram or learned to program our subconscious mind in a negative way. And so so I teach the same thing when I'm teaching people to become happy. Because when you're unhappy, it's because you have programmed your subconscious mind to see things in a way that is negative. So this is so important information. It could change your life if you take it on board and you take it further and learn a little bit more. Okay? But so far you are with me. It's clear. Okay? Now, what has this to do with lifestyle? So what has the automatic pilot to do with the lifestyle? Why am I even talking about the automatic pilot? Come on. Speak up.
Not to speak on couch potato.
Yes. Because your lifestyle is what? Part of your automatic pilot. The way you eat, whether you exercise or you lie on the sofa with a beer and the remote control. It is part of your automatic pilot. Okay? So it has everything to do with your lifestyle. Now, what happens when people usually want to change their lifestyle? They try to change everything at once. So they're cutting out the sugar. They're going to go and exercise 6 times a week for 5 hours. I'm just exaggerating, okay? They're going to put in some salad. They're going to only eat salads, and they're going to skip all the sweets, and they're going to stop smoking, and they're going to stop drinking, and you know, there's like 500 habits that they're going to change in one go. What happens? When you try to change too many habits, you overload the conscious mind. Okay, now I know that you hear detoxing, so you're in an environment where you don't have any other options, so it's easier. But when you have all the temptations around you, when you get out of here, it's very difficult to maintain. So what I'm saying is that when you get out of here, if you learn to reprogram your subconscious mind in the right way, you can sustain healthy habits for life. If I ask you to change everything, so when you come home, it's not about you take all the bad things out and you only eat healthy stuff. It's about taking steps. So it's about setting goals, because otherwise it feels like I'm asking you to learn 5 languages in 1 week, or I'm asking you to learn 5 new sports in 1 week. Do you see? This is the mistake we do. So this is number 1 reason why we fail to maintain healthy lifestyle. We are simply overloading our conscious mind. Does this make sense to you? So I came up with this beautiful formula that if you practice 1 to 3 new habits every week, it's easier, you can focus on it, you can think, okay, I am programming my subconscious mind, and slowly, slowly, it will become automatic. So my formula is take 1 to 3 habits every week, and then add 1 to 3, add 1 to 3, and so on. And I'm going to give you the formula how I do it afterwards. Okay, so I'm going to go through the 10 steps. But does this make sense to you guys? So isn't it easier to just maybe increase your water intake and maybe increase your salad intake than to be doing everything, like diminishing portions, avoiding the fried foods, avoiding sweets, avoiding alcohol, stop smoking, you know? Isn't it easier just to focus on a few things and just get it done? Makes sense? So you're with me here? Okay. So this is my success formula, because when I've taken people, well, it takes longer time. So usually when clients come to me for weight loss or they just want to become healthier, I tell them, okay, it's not going to be a quick fix. It's going to take time because we're going to work with your subconscious mind. We are going to reprogram your subconscious mind. So bear with me. It's going to take a little bit longer, but you're going to sustain it for life. And those who go ahead and do it with me, I have a huge success. Because it's going to be harder for them when they're into it and they've done it for a long time, because then we have some additional points that are also important to take into consideration. When they've done it for 3 months, it's harder to go back. So that's what I've experienced with many people. Okay? Now, I had been teaching people to change their habits one at a time for a long time. When I came into a run into an obstacle, I found that some people would change all their habits and that everything was fine, and then one day they would just let go of everything. So I figured, okay, there's something else. It's not enough. It's not enough just to practice a new habit. But you just told us it's enough. Because if we not, listen carefully, if we don't associate positive feelings to the new habit, we're never going to maintain them. And my question is, how many here love driving? Raise your hand. So there are part of you, how many hate driving? Okay, so the rest of you don't really care. Now how many of you would, if you had the chance to hire a driver and have a driver with you all the time, how many of you would love to have just driver driving you around, you didn't have to think about anything? Come on, don't be shy. Yes. Okay. So my point here is that you might be in a habit of doing something. It's easy, it's comfortable, it's not, you don't paying any attention to it, but you're not really enjoying it. And so if you're not really enjoying it, you are on a risk of letting it go. You understand? So it's not enough just to practice new things, new habits. We need to practice new comfortable habits. So we're going to change comfortable habits to new comfortable habits, not change comfortable habits to uncomfortable habits. So somebody says, I don't like any vegetable. And actually I had one woman who came to me and she said, I don't eat any kind of vegetables. Is there anyone here who doesn't eat any kind of vegetables? No. Okay. You're just drinking juices of vegetables, yes. So that was a challenge. But I found one thing she liked. She liked cucumber. And so what's amazing is that when you start with something you like, your taste buds change. So that's another thing. So your taste buds change over time. So when we started to take out the bad stuff and bring in the good stuff, her taste buds changed, and slowly, slowly, she got into liking other kinds of food or vegetables. So it's important you always start with something that you love, something you like. Don't start eating food that's healthy and you dislike. Somebody, I think that's you, you said, I don't like, it doesn't taste good.
No, it was the taste of the chocolate.
Oh! Oh, you don't? Oh, okay. Oh,
I like vegetables, but the taste of chocolate is better sometimes.
Ah, yes, okay. Okay. Okay, so that's my second point. This is what my program is all about, is learning or creating new habits, one step at a time, and making sure that you associate positive feelings to them. See? Oh, what's happening?
Thanks.
Okay, so you can actually learn to enjoy healthy living. You can learn to enjoy it. If you think that it's not enjoyable right now, it's because you have something in here that says it's not. And so that can be changed. Okay, bear with me, we're going to take one step at a time to do that. Now, to associate positive feelings to new habits is using a trick that advertisers use. And it comes to mind one advertisement, Galaxy, it's not this one. There is a woman, she's beautiful, long black hair, she's skinny, thin, she's young, she is living in this luxurious apartment, she's waiting for her boyfriend to pick her up, he comes, she runs downstairs, sport car, a beautiful boyfriend or husband, I don't know, it doesn't say. They drive to the airport and he takes her on the private jet to Paris for dinner. And on the way, he opens a chocolate bar to give her and they enjoy together. And so, so the interesting thing is that when you have an advertisement, that you can see that they're always linking positive feelings to the product. And when you watch the advertisement over and over again, on a subconscious level, you start to believe that when you eat Galaxy chocolate, you're going to have a beautiful boyfriend who has an airplane, and you're going to have a thin, beautiful body, and you're going to feel so happy. But this all happens on a subconscious level. So it's not that you are completely aware of it. It's just that when you eat galaxy, you get that good feeling, okay? And so advertisers that use that. So if I would show you this ad and ask you how many of you would buy Ben and Jerry ice cream now, you would say no. So you never see ads like this because this doesn't sell. Because here you're not associating positive feelings to the product. And so you can learn to use the same anchoring method that advertisers do to anchor positive feelings to healthier habits. Okay? And we will talk a little bit about how to do that. So the summary is how to reprogram your subconscious mind. You need to do 3 things. You need to take 1 step at a time and create 1 to 3 new habits every week. We can get rid of 1 or 2 old habits every week. We should always think about changing comfortable habits to comfortable habits, not uncomfortable. So if I have a habit of eating carrot cake in the afternoon, I'm not going to change into carrots. It just doesn't taste the same. But I might want to find something that tastes really good as well, but it's healthier. Okay? And I also believe in taking steps. So it's not about just taking everything that's good out of the diet and then just taking in all new healthy stuff. It's taking step at a time. Okay, 1 step at a time. Okay? So we start the 10 steps. And I'm going to run through the 10 steps quickly, and then we're going to offer you a workshop where I help you go through the 10 steps more individually. So we were thinking about a group of 6 to 8 to run through if you need extra help, but at least you have the steps here, okay? So the first is decide what you want. Create a clear goal. What is your goal, okay? Now I had a girl who came to my session one time and she said, I said, what's your goal? She said, I want to lose weight. I said, how much weight do you want to lose? I don't know, I just want to lose weight. I said, good, come to the gym and let's exercise for 1 hour. And we exercised for 1 hour, and then I asked her to step on the scale, and I said, you see, you lost 200 grams. I have accomplished your goal. You lost weight. And she said, no, I didn't mean that. So it's kind of, see, when we don't have clear goals, our brain doesn't like that. Our brain likes to aim for something. And the next point is that creating a visual picture of it is also important. But to have a clear goal and don't think about what you don't want, because so many people get stuck in what they don't want. So have a clear picture, have a clear goal. I want to become that and that many kilos, or I want to be able to run up this mountain in 1 hour, or I want to fit in my clothes, specific clothes. Whatever the goal is, it has to be specific. Okay? The second step, so actually it would be good if you start to think about, do you have a goal in mind? Do you guys have a goal for yourself? It could also be like the goal of getting rid of symptoms of like pain, joint pain, or I want to get rid of, any, like I have digestive problems, or I have asthma, or, that could also be a goal, okay? So, do you all have a goal in mind? Perfect, so we continue. The second step, using visualization. So, do you know visualization? Creating a clear picture in your mind. I'd like you to try an exercise. I want to show you how powerful visualization is. So stand up for a moment. And I want you to stand. Now, you're going to find one place to stand and do not move your feet. Okay? Do not move your feet. At least through the exercise. You can move your feet afterwards. Okay? Not during exercise. So now we're going to point the finger and we're going to go as far back as you can, and we're going to remember where the finger is pointing, and then we're going to come back. Go back as far as you can, and remember, if you look, remember where the finger is pointing, and then come back. You all manage to do that. Ragnar, not this way. This way. Yeah. Okay, the other way. Okay, so you go this way, you don't go this way, huh? You got it? Doesn't matter. You can take each, doesn't matter which hand you use. Okay, did you all manage to do this? Perfect. Now close your eyes. And now I'd like you to see it in your imagination. Don't do anything with your hands. I want you to see yourself doing the same exercise in your imagination, but this time you're going to go 30% further than you did the first time. Or maybe 50% further. You're going to see your finger going further. And repeat and see it again in your imagination. See yourself going 50% further than you did the first time. And then we're going to repeat this twice more. See your finger pointing, going 50% further than the first time. And the last time, 50% further than the first time. Okay? And now you can open your eyes. And you can do the exercise again, please. Good. So, did you go further? Yes. All of you? Yes. Okay, you can sit down. Now you can move your legs. So, I was showing you a simple demonstration of the power of visualization. And I want to ask you, when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you see this? Yes. Do you see this? Yes. Or do you see something like that? Or maybe that? Because first, you create in your mind, and then it becomes a reality. So, if there's anything that's like, it's any tool that I've learned in my life that's powerful, it's this one. And I use it for everything and anything. And I would be happy to teach you more how to use visualization. It's used a lot in sports. People who want to get better results in sports, they use visualization. And one example is that they had this experiment with a team player of a basketball team. And they were all professionals, and they had them do, like, I don't remember if it was 1 month or 2 months experiment, and they divided the team into 3. So one part of the team was doing the throw in practice. They practiced the throw every day for maybe an hour or so. And the second group was just visualizing the throw. They were not doing it in real. They were just visualizing it. They saw themselves in imagination, which was lying down, not throwing. The third group was doing both. The third group was throwing and visualizing. Now then they measured the results after 1 month or 2 months, can't remember. And what do you think who got the best results? Yes, the ones who were practicing and using visualization. They actually improved around 42%. Now that's not the interesting part. What is interesting is that the 2 teams were almost equal, that were practicing in imagination and practicing in real, which meant that they were practicing a skill in their imagination and they improved. So because you are stimulating your nervous system and you're creating what I call the neural pathways when you're imagining. And now I'm sure there's going to be a question, because I got this question many times in seminar. So I don't have to exercise, I can just lie down and see it in my mind. Well, it definitely would help, but I would suggest that you do both. But it does help, especially with skills. If you, for example, are playing sport, golf, tennis, if you see it in imagination, it is much easier to do it. I could tell you stories all day about how to use the visualization, but because we have limited time, I will move on. But visualization is a very powerful tool. So I'd like you to create a picture in your head. And before we do that, I want to ask you, how motivated are you? Because you have a goal in mind. So how motivated are you at this moment to reach your goal on a scale of 1 to 10? So 1 is not motivated at all, and 10 is like, yes, I'm going to do it. So where are you? Just find a number. Maybe you're 5, 6, 8, whatever. Remember the number, and now close your eyes and imagine yourself having reached your goal. So if it's a weight loss goal, you can see yourself in a mirror, in your best shape, you can feel your body, you can wear those beautiful clothes that you so much want to wear. If your goal is to get rid of symptoms of bad health, you can see yourself doing something that you might not be able to do today, like walking without pain or running or whatever. If the goal is to achieve something in sports, you can see that. So whatever your goal is, see it, feel it, and use all your senses. Use the touch, smell if you can, if there's music or something around you. Vividly imagine colors, forms. And now I'd like you to open your eyes, and I'm going to ask you again, where is the number right now? Has it gone up or down? Up. Right. So your number has gone up. So you feel more motivated to achieve a goal when you see it in your imagination. So I call this a tool to turn on drive. So if you had this picture in your mind the whole day, you would feel much more motivated to change your habits than if you didn't. So you see how powerful it is. Visualization does so many other things, and because I'm not going to spend much more time on this, I'm just going to say that you can use visualization to create new habits. If you see yourself eating healthier, if you see yourself exercising, it's going to become much easier for you. Okay? So visualization is crucial. Point number 3. It's to see if we have any obstacles or hurdles on the way. So asking this question, right now, how much do I want to achieve my goal? And let's say this, it's gone a little bit up. Just take the first number that you had. So you all had a number. So maybe it was 6 or 8 or 9 or whatever. Is there anyone here who's 10? No. Is there anyone below 5? No. So you're all between 5 and 10 somewhere. Good. Okay. The next question I'm going to ask, because this is going to help you discover what is the obstacle. What would have to happen for me to get the number up to 10? And usually people say something like, well, if I had more time, it would be 10. If I enjoyed healthy food, it would be 10. If I believed that I could succeed, it would be 10. If I didn't have such a busy schedule, it would be 10. Okay, so you have the option of finding your obstacles. Okay, so that's the third point. And this point, when I'm working with people individual, this might take an hour just to figure out, because there could be also limiting beliefs. There could be, do you know what limiting beliefs are anyway? Limiting beliefs are something that you believe is true but is preventing you to achieving your goal. So it could be past experience of failures. It could be that your parents told you that you're never going to achieve it. It could be other failures in the past. It could be mixed neuroassociation. This is a little bit more complex. It means that you have mixed feelings towards your goal. You have both positive or negative feelings. I can give you a simple example. A woman who wanted to lose weight, every time she would get started, she would stop. So she would get some results and she would start to sabotage. When I took her through this process of understanding what was her hurdle, or what was standing in her way, I found that when she was 9 years old, she was raped. And after that, she started putting on weight because she didn't want to look good anymore, because she didn't want that risk of being raped again. Now, as she grew older, this was buried in her subconscious mind. She didn't think about it. She didn't even think about that this was a problem anymore. But, you see, our subconscious mind is so powerful that if there's something buried deep inside, you might not be aware of it, but it still could be sabotaging your behavior. So that's just to give you an example, there are so many things here that could be standing in your way, and you need to give yourself time to figure out what that is. Okay? Sometimes it's something simple, like I said, the time or the stress or whatever. Sometimes it can be more complex, like I mentioned in the last example. Okay? Any questions so far? So step number 1 was create a clear goal. Step number 2 was visualize it. Step number 3 was get over the obstacles. Perfect. Step number 4, find a reason. Now, what's your name? Bryndis. If I ask Bryndis, do you want to share what your goal is? Or? Okay, so let's just imagine that your goal is to get rid of her shoulder pain. Okay, we're just playing around here. Okay, so my goal is to get rid of the shoulder pain, but she doesn't really give her time to do the physio, and she doesn't give her time to really work on it because it's not important enough. She doesn't really have a reason to. But then I told her, you know, I'm going to give you 2 million Icelandic to achieve your goal, and suddenly it's a priority. So the reason gives us a drive. Now I could ask you, what's your name?
Ada.
Ada. Are you Icelandic?
No.
No. Are you from?
Peru.
You speak English?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say that I would now take 2 million from you if you don't achieve a goal. You also have a reason. And you don't only need a reason to get started, you also need a reason to maintain your goal. And I'm going to give you a quick, funny story of myself and my husband at the time. When I was 30 years old, I completely transformed my health and my lifestyle around the age of 20. It took like between 20 and 27 because I was still figuring out the right way. So when I was 30, I was, still am, pretty fit and healthy. And so I was having this conversation with my husband, who was a bodybuilder, and he was really fit, and he was very obsessed with his looks. And I said to him, if I wasn't fit and healthy, would you still love me? And he said, what are you talking about? Of course I would love you. And I said, really? I mean, if I was a couch potato just eating pizzas and, you know, not exercising and just getting flabby and, you know, would you really still love me? He said, Helga, this is such a silly question. Of course I would love you. I would miss you, but I would love you. So a few days later I decided to get back at him. So he said, Helga, why don't you never tell me when you get an orgasm? And I said, because you're never there. So I got back at him. So the reason is creating the driving force. So you need to have a very strong reason. And when I work with my clients here, they say, yeah, well, I just want to feel better. Okay, it doesn't create any feelings. Remember, the driving force behind behavior is feelings, automatic pilot. If you don't have a reason that turns on the fire inside of you, you're never going to achieve it. You really need to have a strong reason. You really need to have this fire inside of you, okay? Now, the fifth is to set goals. Okay, here is where we started to take one step at a time and set goals. Now, many years ago, when I was starting, I used to help people to create a plan for the next 5 years. Now, I'm just exaggerating. Okay, next 2 months. So I would put down like a mind map. What is that you need to change to achieve a goal? Then I would break it down to smaller goals, then a month goal, and then weeks, and everything would be set. So they had like an action plan for the next 2 months. And believe me when I say it never worked. Never. Because something changed, or they wanted to do it differently, or something came up. They wanted to do different kinds of sport, or they wanted to change something else in the diet, whatever. So I figured the easiest way is just to focus on next week. And so when I say focus on short-term goals, it's so much easier than to create goals for the next year or 2 months or whatever. When you just focus on what am I going to do this week, it's so much easier. If I asked you to think about, just close your eyes for a minute, think about the 15, 20 things that you need to do when you come home in regards to changing your lifestyle. Just everything that comes into your mind. I need to drink more water, I need to eat more vegetables, I need to go and exercise, I need to do that. Go with the list. Okay, how does it feel?
Overwhelming.
Overwhelming, right. Now try this. Close your eyes, think about one thing. Only one thing that you want to do. One thing. Focus on one habit you want to change when you come home. Close your eyes again. Just think about that one thing. And how does it feel? Easier, isn't it? So, it makes sense. You see, we are working with our minds here. And we are creating positive emotions also. So I had in mind when I asked people just to focus on the next week is not to create those overwhelming feelings, but create feelings of, I can do this. It's achievable. Makes sense to you, right? It's also easier to lose half a kilo than 50. And so sometimes I say, when you're driving and you know you're going to Akureyri, you don't really need to know how the road is going. You just need to know what's just ahead of you. And then you figure it out as you go. So this is how I've completely transformed my goal setting, and it's so much easier and it's so much more fun. Because if you know that you're stepping a step forward every week, eventually you will get to your goal. You don't need to know exactly how the route is going to be. Okay? The point number 7, the step number 7, start with goals that are easy. Now, when I say start with goal with easy, I can ask you, okay, I have addiction for chocolate. Okay, someone mentioned chocolate. I like chocolate, okay? Then starting to take the chocolate out is difficult. So if I do that and I fail, I feel like a failure and I stop. But if I start with something easy, like increasing my water intake or maybe having a little bit more vegetable in my diet, it's pretty easy. I'm more likely to succeed and I'm more likely to proceed. So I want to continue because now I feel like a winner. Are you with me? Do you get this? So taking steps that are easier first, and then as you become more confident and as you believe in more in yourself, you can work on harder and harder goals. Okay? And then, number 8, focus on behavior goals rather than outcome goals. You know, when I'm working now with a lady who is probably 70, 80 kilos overweight. Okay? And the minute I mentioned dieting or cutting down something, she just goes like that. Or losing weight, she has so many negative associations here to dieting that I know that mentioning the word dieting is really bad. So I said to her, let's start like that. We're not going to diet. We are just going to feel better. We're going to change our lifestyle to feel better. So that's our goal. And I don't want you to step on the scale once during our time, like the next month. Don't step on the scale. Don't think about the scale. Stop focusing on your weight. Because many of us, if you're trying to lose weight, we have a lot of negative association to losing weight. And so you will feel negative about the whole process. Now, some of you are just stressed out and you want to detoxify. You might have similar negative association. Whenever you start a healthy lifestyle, you fail. So, whatever the goal is, make sure that you feel good about it. make sure that you don't have those negative feelings about starting. And by the end of the week, instead of thinking how much weight have I lost, or how fast am I running, or how is my shoulder, think about what behaviors have I changed this week. Because sometimes if you're trying to get rid of symptoms of ill health, it takes longer than a week. It might take a month or 2 months. If you are trying to lose weight, it might take longer time to get started. So my point here is, the more you focus on success, the more you are likely to succeed. So focusing on what you have achieved rather than what you haven't achieved is very important as well. Make sense? We are creating positive feelings. Now, here is a point that's also very interesting, and something I came up with after working with a girl who was a food addict. She had major problems with sweets and cakes and so. And whenever we talked about getting rid of it from her diet, she would just panic. So I said to her, let's not get rid of anything from your diet. Let's just add on. So don't think about taking anything out of your diet. Let's just think about adding on. And we did that for, I think, 4 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks. And I didn't mention to her, take out the chocolate, or take this out, or take that out. I just said add. So for example, in the afternoon, she was used to have a donut. So I said, okay, let's just focus on having a smoothie in the afternoon. I didn't mention a donut. She said, well, I have donut. Well, okay, if you want to have the donut after the smoothie, you can do that, but have the smoothie. And then what happened is that the more she added on healthy foods, it started to push out the unhealthy options. You see me? And so I tricked her mind in believing that she wasn't really taking anything out. She was just adding things in. Yeah? So that's also a nice way of tricking your mind. And the 10th and the last point is very important, because if you don't have those positive associations to your new habits, you're not likely to maintain them. So I'm going to ask you now to help me to find a few ways how you can associate positive feelings to your new eating habits and your exercise habits. And then I have some pointers I'm going to show you. So come on. How could you remember the ads? The beautiful woman in the private jet. That was a positive association. So how do you create a positive association to your new lifestyle? Come on. Speak up. Ideas. I'm sure you have lots of ideas.
Feeling better.
Feeling better, but what is the association then? How are you going to, for example, I want to motivate myself to go to the gym. How are you going to do that? By associating positive feelings to it.
Visualizing yourself happy in the gym.
Yes, that's one way.
And
Yeah.
then exercise are
Yes.
very, very easy.
Yes. Visualizing would be one way. That's nice. What else?
Meeting your friends in the gym.
Meeting your friends in the gym. Excellent idea. So I'm meeting my friends, and that's fun. So as I'm creating a feeling of fun, being with her friends, and then I'm associating that to the gym. That's perfect. Give me more examples like that. Perfect. Do you know what I do? A couple of things to, well, I don't really need to motivate myself to go to the gym. I love the gym now. I've been doing it for 27 years. But in the beginning, I went to the gym to check out the hot guys. That was it was like a social event, going to like a big gym. And then later on, I started to associate going to the gym to listening to something inspirational. So I usually listen to inspirational talks, seminars, something that creates positive feelings inside of me, and then I will associate those feelings to the gym. So that's another way. More ways. How do you associate positive feelings to healthy eating? You know, actually, like rewarding yourself. Like one guy who didn't really like the gym, he would always go to the sauna after the gym, and so he was looking forward to the sauna, and that would motivate him to go to the gym. That's another way to associate. Now, feeling better. If you have been doing it for a long time and you know how great you feel when you're eating healthily, yes, that could be a positive association. But how to get you started? Now, one and the most important thing, and I mentioned that earlier, choose healthy food that you enjoy eating. That's another way to associate positive feelings to healthy foods. Because if you eat healthy foods that taste like crap, you don't really want to eat that. So choose healthy options that you enjoy. You can also decorate the food. You can have it as a social event, going out with your friends, having fun with your friends, eating healthy options. You could associate it. You could even play some nice music. I mean, there are loads of ways to associate positive feelings to healthy lifestyle, and it's for you to use your creativity. So just here are some examples. But think of it like that. Until now, you haven't really, I'm sure you haven't really thought about it. Am I right? Am I wrong? You really thought about everything I said today? Okay, so this is kind of, it's logical. You kind of knew it before, but you didn't, right? So it's a way of organizing your thoughts, and okay, so how do I now start my life when I get back home? Tell me. Number one, you're going to create goals. Number two, you're going to use visualization. Number three, you're going to overcome obstacles. Number four, yes, finding the reason. Number five, setting weekly goals. Number six, starting with the easy goals. Number seven, didn't someone write it down?
Yeah.
Number 7 was what? Starting with easy goals, and then short terms, right? And then 8 was looking at the behavioral goals rather than outcome goals, right? 9 was add in rather than take away. And number 10 is always make sure that you feel good about the changes you're doing. Feel good about the new habits. Excellent. So,
do you have these on the net? Or?
No, but I could organize so you can get it. Yes. If you want my slides, if you can write down your names on a list, and I will send it to you. And also, if you guys want to work in a group, we were thinking about a group of maybe 6 to 8. So I could help you to go through the steps, maybe helping you to overcome those hurdles and make it real for you. Then I was going to offer you to sign up, and the price was going to be 3,800 each person. I also offer individual one-on-one if there is anyone who would like to have coaching with me. You can put a name on a list, and then we can organize that as well. So I thought that it would be nice, because now we only had 1 hour, if we have maybe 1-2 hours together where we can really work through our obstacles and really set up a plan, so when you come home you have something in your hand and you know that you can sustain healthier habits for life. So do you have any questions? I'm sure you have questions. Come on. It's all clear. Did you understand? Thank you. Did you understand? Do you want to ask me something in Swedish, Icelandic? Everything crystal clear. Okay.
The third day in Beatles.
Okay.
While you are thinking, á meðan þið eruð að hugsa, þá ætlar Helga að vera hérna á 5. og vera þá með námskeið í íslensku, það komast 6 að, 6 til 8. Og meðan hérna líklega erlendukeppnir í Gárannu, það er sem sagt, maður haldur þetta sé fínt frá 6:30 til sem sagt í 2 tíma, frá 6:30. 6 manns hérna, ég sendi þetta niður, bara námskeið 10 skrifa nýju lífi og 15.7. Ok, fyrst við koma fyrst við þá. Já.
Hvað kostar hérna einhverjum?
12.000. En ég get gefið ykkur pakka sko, ef þið hann til dæmis viljið, eða íslensk og viljið halda áfram eftir þið búið hér, að þá er ég bara með pakkaverð sem er miklu ódýrara. Þannig að þið getið keypt ykkur, getið keypt ykkur 10 tíma á 90, þannig að þá er tíman á 9.000 í stað fyrir 12.000. Getið keypt ykkur 5 tíma á 55.000, þá er það 10, það fyrir 12.
Varstu hér á landinu eða?
Já, ég er hér, já, nú er ég flutt. Og hér er símanúmerið mitt og vefsíðan mín og e-mailið mitt og endilega Health, Mind, Body. Health, Mind, það er líka á logonum mínu hérna, healthmindandbody.net. Og sko ég líka, þið mig alveg hringið mig ef það er með spurningar. Ég tek ekkert fyrir því að svara spurningum og ég kem til að sitja hér aðeins eftir ef þið vil koma og spyrja mig svona prívat og persónulega. Og einnig ef þið viljið fá slætuna mínar, þá læti bara Ragnar ganga blað einhvern tímann í dag.
Ég setja bara niður og ætla aðeins hérna, ég var ekki alveg búinn. There will be workshop then on Friday. På svensk, engelsk.